Hi, and welcome to another Book Talk with Tracy. Recently, I've been doing some interviews with other authors, and I thought I would share them on Book Talk. We've been talking about a new anthology that's coming out, and I had the opportunity and privilege to interview several of the contributors to that anthology, and so I thought I would share those interviews with you. I really hope that you enjoy them as much as I enjoyed conducting those interviews. So, without further ado, here's the next book talk. Today, I am here with Marnie Pohlmann. She's one of the contributors to a new anthology that's being published by Inscribe Press called Creativity and Chaos Artistic Endeavors for Trying Times. Sounds like a really interesting book. Hi, Marnie.
Yes.
Yeah. I see that you have two pieces in this upcoming anthology. One that's sort of in the hobby and home category, and another one that's in the nonfiction. So, what you want? Tell us a little bit about both of them. What inspired you, and what they're about.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the hobby first. I am not, I would not call myself artistic. I'm a writer, but I'm not overly artistic. So, um, rather than drawing or painting, I build Lego, and that's how creative I get. But during difficult times, playing with Lego just calms my spirit and allows my spirit to hear from God. Just playing with the bricks, whether I'm building something of my own creation or building from a pattern. It just seems to help things fall into place and helps my understanding.
I think that's a fantastic hobby. And it is creative. It's very creative because you're building. It's almost kind of like sculpture or something. So I think
It can
that's
be an
so cool.
expensive hobby, but there's always used Lego that people are willing to donate. So
Yeah.
it's all good and it helps with the grandchildren too.
Yeah, and your piece actually is called Brick Therapy. So what you said about it helping to, just bring you, I don't know, as your way of reflecting on the world or whatever. I think that's really cool because it's true. Sometimes we need to do something with our hands and it helps our head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping your hands busy helps your mind to process things.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that's a great segue actually into your other piece, which is called Recovering from the Chaos of PTSD. So, speaking of needing some kind of therapy, that's
Yes.
it will segue into that one. So, it's a nonfiction piece. Uh,
Yes. It's a part of my story of having post-traumatic stress disorder, which is much more common nowadays than it was when I was young and diagnosed with it. Um, but I find that the article describes some of the things that I have done to deal with the PTSD, but also to heal from the PTSD. There is life. It's a constant struggle. However, it does get better. And so the article describes one of the things that I do, which is reframing. So you look at a situation that seems overwhelming and you describe it in a different way, or you look at it from a different angle. And sometimes that takes talk therapy, sometimes it takes journaling, sometimes it takes talking with God or reading his scripture. Um, and sometimes it takes just writing and doing alliteration. So in this article, I took the initials of PTSD and gave them new meanings.
oh,
So instead of post, it's pray and play,
nice.
and instead of trauma, it's taught, and instead of stress, it's sort, which I do with Lego. So
Oh, wow.
so it all combines and helps me hear from God and know that I'm not alone in the chaos of whatever I'm going through at the time.
That's awesome because, you know, it sounds like that article is more than just you reflecting on your experience, which is totally valid, for somebody to write a reflective and let other people know that they've been through it or whatever, so that's always encouraging for people. But then to actually have some, here's some actual things you can do. I love that. I think that's such a great addition to the reflective part. So yeah, wonderful. This is of course, Inscribe Press. This is not the first anthology that the organization has published. You've had some pieces in other anthologies too, haven't you?
Yes, I've had pieces in the Christmas Stories and More and Easter Stories and More
Mm-hmm.
anthologies, also put out by Inscribe.
This particular one, I think, has been in the works for a couple of years, and I'm not 100% sure. You could probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think part of it kind of came out of the whole COVID experience, and and then it does. It's been trying times. I mean, world, what's happening in the world and whatever. So it seems kind of like a very timely anthology, if you will.
So I think it's only a few minutes before somebody feels overwhelmed, and it's different for everybody, maybe, where your own coping methods don't help in a situation. But it doesn't matter what the situation is. There are ways of using creativity
Mhm.
to handle it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's such a cool marriage of those two sort of divergent things, creativity and then the chaos and how they seem to
Yeah.
be coming together. For some people, the chaos is their creative inspiration. And for others, it's like, how can creativity help you navigate the chaos, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so
And to share what you've learned through the chaos.
Well, this is excellent. I'm really looking forward to when the anthology actually comes out. I know we're having a book launch in September of this year, 2024, at our annual fall conference. So I'm looking forward to getting my copy and reading all these great articles and stories. The anthology has a multitude of different things. It's got poetry, it's got nonfiction pieces like yours, some fiction, just a really nice collection of things of nice variety.
I'm sure everybody will find something in there that's not only helpful, but is fun.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, it's been so nice to talk to you, and we'll talk again, I'm sure.
All right.
We do know one
Thanks,
another,
Tracy.
beyond this, but for sure, it's been lovely to talk to you, and I'm gonna say adios for now, and thanks for coming and having a little chat with me today.
Okay, thanks, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks again for joining me on Book Talk with Tracy. As always, I invite you over to my website, which is tracykraus.com. No E in Tracy, two S's in Kraus, where you can find all of my books and plays, as well as other recommendations. Bye for now.